During the 1950s, the principal travelers hitched rides on Chilean and Argentinian maritime vessels traveling south to resupply research bases on the South Shetland Islands. From the last part of the 1960s, committed icebreaker campaign ships were wandering considerably further south. In the mid-1990s, as ex-Soviet icebreakers opened up, the business started to grow. Around 12 organizations offered trips around then. By the turn of 100 years, the ice mainland was getting in excess of 10,000 yearly guests. Antarctic. The travel industry had gone standard. For most sightseers, convenience, food and different administrations are given on board transport. Over 33% of all guests never stand on the mainland. The individuals who really do go to Antarctica regularly make brief visits, as opposed to taking short-term visits. As travelers come in expanding numbers, a few administrators have moved to offer perpetually pairing choices like mountaineering, heli-skiing, submerged trips in subs and scuba plunging. In regions visited most by sightseers, the snow has a higher grouping of dark carbon from transport exhaust, which absorbs more intensity and prompts snow soften. Transport traffic likewise gambles conveying catching the right intrusive animal types into the southern seas' weak marine biological systems. Ecological campaigns accompany comparative natural expenses, and keeping in mind that there are far less of them, researchers and support staff invest undeniably more energy on the mainland. Through its sheer size, the journey business has made mass the travel industry in new spots and over-tourism in others, creating unsuitable degrees of swarming, disturbing the existences of occupants, reusing nearby societies for outlandish exhibitions, harming the climate and adding to discharges from petroleum products. In Antarctica, swarming, ecological effect and outflows are the most major problems. While 100,000 travelers a year is minuscule by worldwide travel industry principles, Paris had very nearly 20 million of every year. 2019 visits are moved in profoundly delicate biological regions for a couple of months out of each year. There are no inhabitants to upset other than neighborhood untamed life, yet at the same time, there's no host local area to descent, assuming that guest numbers get excessively high. To try not to present new species, travelers need to observe guidelines, for example, sanitizing their boots and vacuuming their pockets prior to going to the ice, and staying away from natural life. Interestingly, this year, administrators need to report their general fuel utilization as a feature of IAATO's endeavors to make the business more environment well disposed. A few administrators are presently utilizing crossover vessels that can run somewhat on electric drive for brief periods, diminishing carbon dioxide emissions. Assuming you're one of the sightseers going to Antarctica this mid-year, partake in the experience. However, go with care. Note that no excursion south comes without ecological expense, and utilize this information to clarify looked at choices about your exercises both in Antarctica and when you're securely back home.